I am the host of the Manifesting Through Music conference, where I help to bring on music industry experts to help you make your music dreams a reality. So today we have a super special guest. She goes by the Ladyproducer. Please just give us an introduction about who you are and what you do and how you got started in all of this.
Oh my gosh, I've been doing this for a long time, girl.
Yeah.
I started out doing R&B long time ago, and then got introduced to the production side through the producers that I was working with.
Okay.
Um, they were busy with the girls and having a good time, and a lot of other clients, so they were like, "Hey, if you want to do this thing, I'm more than willing to teach you." So actually, a really good friend of mine, Michael Stewart, who's down in Atlanta,
Okay.
he let me come over to his house and just like literally left me in his basement. Just like figure it out, and I did. I had my first client, and I'll never forget. He was all like, "Do you know what you're doing?" And and it was so crazy. I was so upset, but by the time we were done with our first session, he was like, "You know what? You, I, how much I owe you? Can I get a ride home?" So that's how I got started, like eons ago, and then ever since, I just really got into the production side of it, the equipment, the keyboards, and all of this other stuff. I still sang, I still recorded, but I really was fascinated with the production side of it. So that was long ago. Then I got into gospel when I got a little older, and I moved here to St. Louis, and I started doing gospel music. So my background is a little bit of everything, and so I think with that, it just led me into doing sync, which is what I'm doing now. So I'm loving it.
Okay, great. So you said that you met a friend in Atlanta. Are you from Atlanta?
No, I'm not from Atlanta. We were
Okay.
both in New York at the time, upstate New York. He
Okay.
lived there and I lived there, and we were buddies, and we had a recording studio, and so that's where we started. But he eventually moved on. I moved here to St. Louis, and he moved to Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So tell me a little bit. So you had your first client, and what was it that made you push through? And I ask because I don't know anything about production yet.
Right. Right.
However, when I have my studio sessions, I'm always so amazed by all the buttons and all the little gadgets, and just watching would make me feel exhausted sometimes, like how they would correct certain things or move things around or
Mhm.
mute things and unmute them. And I know I work my engineers' nerves because I ask so many
So
questions
many
and still
questions.
won't know. Yes. So what was it from that experience that made you keep going? Because there is so much to learn, especially when you are pretty much self-taught, which is what it sounds like you are.
Right. Right. Correct. I think just the how I wanted things to sound.
Okay.
For me, my ears perked up to, just how things sound and how intricate things and how they're put together. I think the fascination with that and wanting to learn how it came to be was probably the thing for me. I learned early on
Hmm.
that even when I went to concerts, I would always I could never enjoy a concert because my brain is like, ooh, listen to the bass, ooh, listen to the drums, listen to the
Yes.
guitar. It's always picking it apart, and so it was like, wait a minute now, maybe I'm called to the producer side more so because it was just the fascination of pulling everything apart. See, I came from a generation where songs like you would remember like the bass line, you would know what song it is just by the bass
Yeah.
line, or you would know a song just by the guitar coming in. You know what I mean? So that's the
Yes.
generation I came from, and all of that just brought me to this point.
I love that so much. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your progress and your timeline, because what happened between that first client that you had and where you are now? How did things shift for you? How did things unfold? And, you know, what were some of the challenges that you faced on that journey?
Oh, wow. So I think I really, um, just when I started out, and back in the day, my fiance and I, um, at the time,
Yeah.
were managing some other groups and things like that. We were going to an actual, one of those big recording studios. And I remember not being able to get things done in the timely manner and the money that it would cost for us to get all of this material done for all the different
Yeah.
artists. So I just took on the role, hey, I'm going to do this myself. And that's when the self-taught thing just started to roll in. And then I think when I moved here to St. Louis, it really changed because that's when people started doing it themselves.
Okay.
And so I went through that whole transition from the big studio to now we're changing into let's record ourselves. And so I really got into that, especially moving into the gospel realm. I didn't know a lot of people, a lot of producers, a lot of people in that industry. So I just started doing it myself, building
Yeah.
up my equipment slowly and then recording the music and then recording my vocals and all of that sort of thing. So, and it was a challenge, especially being a woman and being in an industry where it's male dominated and still male dominated. I see more females, and now that social media is the thing, I see more now. But it's still, you know, you're
The
gonna
gap is
be,
still there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's way there. So I would say that's probably my biggest challenge,
Hmm.
being confident enough to step in an industry where it's male dominated. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And still be a woman and not have to come out all rough and tough like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just as dope as you and and
Yeah.
all of that
Yeah. It
stuff.
doesn't have to be a
I didn't
battle.
want to, deal with that kind of challenge. I'm still a woman. I'm still femme, but I could do a beat or two. You know what I mean?
Yes. I'm okay. So many things are coming up, but before we go any further, I want to acknowledge the Smash Coast in the chat. Like, it's heavy. I see producer Whisper. I see Kimmy. I see Petra. I want to say hi to everyone coming in. We'll get to
Hey, fam.
questions in a little bit, but oh my goodness, so many things were coming up as you were speaking. So, can you give us an example of one of the challenges that you faced as a woman being a producer, maybe in a setting with other producers that you had to work with, or maybe even a client where you had to really, um, you had to navigate some of those biases that were coming up and that were challenging for you? Can you give us an example of that, and just
Oh,
tell us
geez.
how you're able to navigate that and keep going?
Um, that quite honestly, there have been many. Uh,
Yeah, too many to count, I'm
I
sure.
yeah, like too many to count. Like honestly, really, truly. I think here we go. Me being a woman and me being behind the board, me be, being behind the computer and recording. Sometimes it could be a little challenging when you know what you hear and you're trying to get that to convey across to the artist, but yet they can be opinionated too. And this goes for female clients as well as male clients.
Yeah.
And I think there's the kind of the tug of war.
Hmm.
Like, I'm trying to tell you what to do. No, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm the producer.
Yeah.
And so there's certain things that I hear, and my job is to get the best out of you. If I hear something, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to pull the best out of you. So that everything that we're doing is going to come together, and I'm trying to put the bow on the top. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I don't think a lot of people are recognizing it now, but the role of the producer is to make all of this come together and it be the best product that you want in the end. Not just what you hear on your own as a client, but to take what you hear and present the best package.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's that tug of war where me being a female, it may be perceived as I'm trying to tell you what to do, and
Mhm.
no, I'm trying to be your producer. I'm trying to be,
Create a
give you
quality
that shine.
product.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so my next question, and I always keep this in mind, right? Because as an artist who does not have the equipment to record at home, which is something I want us to talk about,
Yeah.
I'm always very intentional about the sessions that I book with my engineer.
Mm.
So I do my best to prepare in advance
Yes.
because time is money. We got 2 hours, is this amount of dollars. Like, we
Yes.
want to get it right. So I will always send the file beforehand to I'll send either like an email or a quick text depending on what they prefer, because some prefer email. Everybody's different.
Right.
So I'll send them my file. I'll say, hey, this is what I'm working on. If I don't have the words, because production is really a language, I find myself in the studio, I'll be like, can we do something like, and I don't know what that is, but he'll be like, oh yeah. So I'll have a reference song where that little where it's in there.
Yes.
So it's little things like that that I do to help maximize my studio time. And not only that, I feel like it also sets the tone because I respect what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I am doing this because I see it as something of value and I want the best product. And I also want the person I'm working with to know that I respect their time and their
Absolutely.
level of expertise. So I feel like there's certain things that we can do to set the tone, not only before the studio session, but during and after. So can you tell us a little bit, give us some tips or things that we can do to help set the tone so that when we get in a space, it doesn't feel like a battle or it doesn't feel like everybody's coming together for a common goal?
Right, exactly. Now, you as the artist, you said it all. Preparation is everything. The more references you have going into it, you know what you want to hear. You're bringing all that with you, or you're sending it ahead of time, so that you both are on one accord, going in the same direction. And that way, your producer, your engineer is not going here, and then you're going there. You
Mm-hmm.
both know where you're trying to get to. So references, even down to the, you know, little pieces of the song, the ad libs and all of that good stuff. If you can have all of that prepared before you go in, I can't even tell you how many clients will come in, they're paying, but then they don't have any direction. And and it's a difference between the engineer and the producer.
Yes.
They come in with the idea that they're producing themselves or they're expecting the engineer to be the producer. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to come in with a clear knowledge. Which one do you want?
Yeah.
Get your information before you go into a paying situation. And I've had clients come in to the studio and oh we could knock this out in 2 hours. And it's like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah. Do we want
I
to
can
do
live.
that?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to do that,
Yeah.
because it's going to sound a hot mess. I've been doing it long enough to know how long it actually takes to record just vocals. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So it's like, no, that is not getting ready to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to come in prepared with your references. Know if you're dealing with an engineer or producer or both. Do you consider yourself the producer? Are you bringing this other person on to help you come up with ideas? Try to come up with those ideas before you get there. Don't get there, and then you're on at an hourly rate, and then you're still trying to come up, with your plans on the spot. Not unless
Yeah.
you're paying that person to do that. That's separate from you actually being in the booth recording.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to decipher which one you're trying to get to before you get there.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. And I say, just to piggyback off of that, I know from experience that you're not going to connect well with every artist that you
Yeah.
work with, or every producer, or every engineer. I think you have to keep an open mind too as an artist. The expectations that you have may not be met in just one session, or you know, just sometimes too, like even with what I record, I know that sometimes I go and I record and I practice the lyrics. I know how when the song is not coming out right, so you have to be open to things changing. There's just a lot to be open to. So I think as an artist, you have to go into it with the mindset of, yes, I'm as prepared as I can be. However, I don't know all the things about producing. So there may some things that I need to change. One, because I don't like how it's coming out, even though I practice it this way. And two, this person is here to help me. Like we're a team. But I think one of the beautiful things about being an independent artist is that you get to choose who you want to work with. So if you don't have a good experience with someone, you make the most of it. You take your notes of what you learn, and you find somebody else. You don't have to keep going to that person.
Yeah.
So there's so many things I feel like we could go deeper with. However, let's talk about equipment, right? Because as an artist who has booked several different types of studio sessions, something that I've really been interested in is building up I won't even say a home setup because I travel so much, but something that I know I can move around with, and that I can at least record vocals.
Yes.
While I'm coming up with ideas, or people are sending me music, I want to be able to make it easier for myself so that I'm not constantly waiting to book a session or waiting for things to come back. So can you tell us just a few pieces of equipment, maybe for somebody maybe who just wants to do covers, right? Maybe they want to do TikTok covers or YouTube covers. What are some essential pieces of equipment that they should start building or start looking at so they can build their own equipment to have at home with them or travel with?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, first of all, I would say, and this is just my opinion, in this day and age, if you are a musician, of course, if you're a producer, if you're a singer, get your own setup. If you can, get your own setup. Start by going to, just like my Apple laptop. I used to have an actual desktop, but I got a laptop. And I went to my local computer store. They resell computers that were leased out. So I got my laptop for like $600.
Okay.
And of course, I had all of this other stuff, but I wanted to go laptop. So I was able to get that. You can go online. You can go to Amazon and get you a refurbished laptop if need be. But I would say every musician, every singer needs to have their own setup, because you can put yourself out there and open yourself up to so many other opportunities if you're able to record yourself and you don't limit yourself to just your local community. I can work with somebody in Canada. I can work with somebody in the UK. You know what I'm saying? With this social media thing. So I need somebody to record vocals. You met this person out there in the UK. Ooh, I got this track. Let me record myself to your track, and then I can send you my stems. Same thing with being a musician. Man, I really feel a live bass or a live guitar on this. Let me get this cat up and see if he can record himself and send me those stems. So it's real important, and I recommend everybody do this, even if you're a songwriter. At least have something, an iPad or something, where you can record your ideas on. You can go to, I think it's Z Sounds, or you could go to American Musical Supply. You can you can go to Amazon too and look up recording package.
Okay.
And you have the whole package.
Yeah.
The audio interface with the speakers, with the microphone, with everything that you need, the cables and all. Just look up recording package, and you'll see it all. They've got some for $250. They've got some for $350. Get your laptop and get your recording package and do your thing. Go out to YouTube University and learn everything that you can about recording yourself. And you don't have to be the expert. You just have to be able to do the basics, which is set it up and record yourself doing your thing. And it's going to open up so many doors for you. Get out there on social media and put it out there. If you're a singer, go lease a track and do a cover to it and put it out there on social media. So that's my recommendation. It's not that expensive anymore. Save your chips, work some overtime.
Yeah.
And get
Yes.
your setup going. I'm a strong, being a woman in this industry, I figured out I had to do it myself. So I went and learned. I didn't sit around waiting for anybody else to give me the information. I went and sought it myself. So that's what you have to do in this day.
Okay. With that, I want to say, this is something that's been in my mind really since I started taking music seriously. And, I would ask people, over the years, I've collected a few things. Was it last year? I want to say last year, I got the Scarlet interface. And I looked it up and I was like, what is this? What do I do with this? And then I realized I didn't have a mic. So a friend bought me a mic this year for my birthday. One of the producers, anytime I go to a studio session, I have a physical journal or a physical notebook where I will take notes on the things that they're saying, things that I would want to change, and even the equipment that they're using. Like at the studio I go to, they use the Newman microphones, which I love.
Yeah.
But they're on the higher end of the spectrum as far as cost.
Yeah.
So, I take notes on all of that. And I think sometimes it only takes you seeing somebody else who's doing it to say, okay, let me stop playing. Let me stop. You can only ask so many questions before you actually sit down and say, okay, I'm about to do this. It's happening. So, and I just want to say thank you so much to you for what you're doing, because I admire it. I respect it so much. Just being a female artist, there's a lot to navigate. So I can only imagine some of the things that you've experienced when it comes to really having to assert yourself and stand up for yourself, while at the same time, not losing touch with who you are and getting out of character. And so I really appreciate that. I want to go to the comments really quick to see if there's anything we're missing. If you all have questions, please drop them down. I appreciate everybody who's sharing. Let's see. I see. I'm scrolling back. Always ask the questions. Okay, I won't stop. Because sometimes I know he'll be like, okay, can you go back there and record, man? It's good time. But
I see a lot of family in here. Hey,
yes. Hey, everyone.
Yeah, the chaotic eyeball.
Studio in a box at Guitar Center. I've never heard of that, but I feel like it sounds like it might be similar to the bundles that you were talking about on Amazon.
Yes.
I've seen those.
Yes. And so, we were talking about equipment earlier. Nowadays, there's a lot of good products out there. You don't really have to trip off of, I know you mentioned the, I think it's Neumann microphone. Ooh, I would love to get one of those, but I can't afford it. You know what I mean? That's just one microphone. I need something that's going to give me a good, clean product. You know what I mean? And if that good, clean product costs me $350, with the whole package, then that's what you do. Today, nobody really, because if you really think about it, when somebody says your song is my jam, they're not tripping off of the fact that you recorded it with a Neumann microphone. That's for the people that are real engineers and, belong to the big studios or, are really gear freaks and stuff like that. You just need a good, clean product. And I would say if you're starting out, keep it there. Don't even trip off of, you know, back in my day, we used to buy $3,000, $4,000 keyboards and stuff, and now most of my work is done on the computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I still got my baby sitting right here. As a matter of fact, my phone is sitting on top of my Yamaha Mo 2
Yes, I love that.
that I paid a pretty penny for. But nobody's tripping off of that. They just want a product that sounds good in the end. So I would keep the basics, especially if you're starting out. If you're a gear freak, then by all means go for it. But just keep the basics, make it sound clean, and do what you do. Uh-oh, I think I lost you.
You're doing it. You're trailblazing. I think sometimes we don't know how what we're doing affects other people,
Hmm.
especially when we're in our own head about, you know, about just all the things in life, whether it's family or money things. You know, when we push through, there's somebody else who's watching, even if they're not reaching out and
Hmm.
speaking up about it. So I love that. I love that so much. The Charlotte is a good starting point. Yes, a lot of producers recommended that, so I say, definitely learn to record. Yes.
I think you got your
Any-
hand on your microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay, perfect. Ooh, I was reading the comments. I don't know where I got cut out, but one of the things that I wanted to share, I got I think it's called the Audio Technica 2020 AT20, something like that. I got
Hmm.
that. That was the mic that was gifted to me.
Okay.
So, you know, I was looking around just to kind of see what mid range things are available just to start, right? Because I think when you're getting started, you don't need the best. You don't even really know what you're doing.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
and then your ear can change because maybe that one thing that you thought was so great, something else sounds
Yep.
better, you know, once you finally get into a groove. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, okay, let me refer to my questions, which I haven't even needed because the conversation is just naturally just so good and
Right.
flowing. Well, talk to us a little bit. How did you get connected with Smash Coast Music and when did you start building with
Oh
them?
wow. Social media.
Yeah.
Social media. Um, like I said, I'm always looking um, to see who I can connect with, and I saw George and just joined the conversation. I follow Clint Music and the XJ Wills and all of those type of people, and came across George and joined in the live, and it's been family ever since.
Mhm.
And I try never to miss a live unless I'm out of town or something like that. But it's just so encouraging to come in every week, and have him ask what our wins were. You don't get that kind of support. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and a lot of people that are around you, they just don't know what you do. They don't know the things that you have to go through and
Mhm.
plan for and all of that type of stuff. And so being in a community where you can share, your battles and your doubts and your wins and all of those things is just incredible to me. And I met so many incredible people just like yourself.
Thank
Um,
you.
our family that's in the chat
Yes,
right now, it's like
yes.
it is so great, and we're all so supportive. And in being in the music industry, I'm sure you've run into it where there's a lot of shadiness going on, but this community we all have been so supportive of each other. It's
Mhm.
just been great. And so listening to his live, me, just I was at the point where I was getting serious about sync. So, and just being in the live, and then, him putting out there that Smash Coast, I think at the time we're looking for, I don't know if it was sports music or whatever. So, or female empowerment. That's what it was.
Okay.
So I decided, hey, let me put some stuff together and submit it to him. And the crazy part is, I think I threw in the chat on one of the lives, hey, I sent you my submission, and he challenged me, and he was like, oh, you did. You want to listen to it now while we're
Oh
on the
my,
chat? And
oh
I was
my
like, what?
God. You got put
Okay.
on the spot.
I sure did. He put me on the spot.
Yeah.
And when he listened to it, he was like, oh my God, yeah,
Blown
this
away.
is it right here. Yeah. And so I was working with my daughter. I did a couple tracks that I sent to him, and she was on it. And it was, as a matter of fact, I think the song that I sent him was the same song that got chosen for the Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and so, yep. And it's been family ever since. So I'm looking forward to a lot of good things happening with Smash Code.
Yes.
That's family, and it's going to be great. And I'm glad you're
I,
part of the team too.
me too. Listen, it feels like family. And I remember what led me to Smash Coast. I was connected with another sync community, and I was just really learning about how artists can make money outside of just streams and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Gilflow was part of that community. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I went to his Instagram, there was an interview I think that they did together, and so I was like, oh, I think I tuned in live. It was
Yeah.
actually happening,
Yeah.
and so I was like, I like it here. Like, let me stick around and learn more.
Yes.
So, and after that, like, it's just been history.
Yep.
Like, I love how we get. I feel like my soul really gets fed because, like you said, people just don't understand what we're going
Yeah.
through. And even how I was saying with production, there's a whole different language. Just with music, is that like if I'm saying I'm frustrated because I don't have the stems or I don't have the wave file, they're like, what does
Mm-hmm.
that even mean? Like, just
Yeah.
put the song out. And I'm like, it's
Exactly.
not that easy.
Yes. Exactly.
um,
Like.
so to be able to have that as a space to come and to vent and
Yeah.
to be pushed,
Yes.
right? Because we're all going through things to keep going. I love that so much. So, and then we laugh too, because a lot of us are just funny. We like to have a
Yeah.
good time.
I think my
So,
favorite part is when he fusses at us. That's
yes,
my absolute favorite
that's what
part.
we need.
Come on,
Yes.
Daddy.
So I
I
want
don't mean
to.
that in a bad way. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I know. I listen. I know exactly what you
Yep.
mean. Yeah, it's that tough
Yeah.
love. Like you.
Exactly.
And I think with the industry that we're in, we need that because it's
Yes.
so easy to quit and it's so easy to get up
Yeah.
and want to give
Yeah.
up. So that's one of the things that I appreciate the most too.
Absolutely.
Um, so, and I think just generally too, I feel like they're a dynamic duo together. Like I love how, producer whisper has the sync mindset, and then Kimmy, she came on, she talked about some legal
Come
things, and
on now.
she
I need
gave
some
like
more
they give
Kim.
balance. Yeah,
Yes.
we need more of that. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And so just having that representation as a woman and to see like how much he respects what she does, I just love it
Yeah.
here. I love it as much.
And I'm going to piggyback off of what he said.
Yeah.
She needs to get on live too. I know it's been a challenge for us to even like get on camera and be prepared to do all these different videos and things. We're like, that's still the area that's like,
Yes.
for
Yeah.
me. But I get hands down to Kim for coming on that day. But we're going to need some more of
Yeah.
some Kim, okay, that advice
Yes.
and that wisdom that she has. Because I know she's got bags and luggage
Of
of knowledge that,
gems to be dropped.
yep,
Yes.
exactly. Come on with the diamonds, Kim.
Yes. Bring them down. Bring them out. Okay, so before we wrap up, let me just look at my notes to make sure there's nothing that I missed. I think we covered a lot as far as equipment, preparation, um, talked about how you get connected. Okay, so before we wrap things up, can you I always like to, number one, give you the floor to just celebrate the things that you've been able to accomplish as a producer, because I feel like we do so much, and maybe that's part of why the weekly wins is such a big thing in Smash Coast.
Yeah.
Like, we do so much that goes unnoticed. So just share with us a little bit about some of the placements that you've landed or some of the things that you're really happy and proud of that are also what give you motivation to keep going. Because it's like, if I did this, I know there's so much more I could
Right.
do. So just share with us, like, some of the things that you've been able to do.
Right. Let's see. I've had a couple of opportunities to work with a couple of gospel producers, rappers, or one was the truth. I
Okay.
worked with another producer, and he had me do some vocal, and that's another thing that I did. The truth had a song on there, and I actually did like some cinematic type vocals
Ooh.
on in the background
Yeah.
on his, and that was, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago, something like that. And that producer at the time was into sync. He was getting started into sync,
Okay.
and so back at that time, it was like, ooh, I didn't know this was a thing. Let me start really looking at this thing. So that was a great opportunity. That actually made it to his album. I worked with another artist named
Okay.
J.R. and he hired me to put together some a band for
Okay.
two of his songs on his very first album,
Yeah.
Metamorphosis, I
Yeah.
believe it was called. So that was a great opportunity. Um, and let's see, as far as sync is concerned, my very first placement that I ever got was with Rihanna's company, Fenty Skin,
Oh my
and
God.
that was like, I didn't even know what Fenty Skin was.
I'm wearing Fenty today, by the way, foundation.
Hey now,
Yes. So shout out to you. Yes.
yes,
But you
and
said
so
you
that
didn't
was,
even know really much about it
no,
at the. Okay.
not at all. I had to call someone and ask her. It looks like a legitimate company. I looked up the company and everything, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's Rihanna," and I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" And so like that was probably the most, like, the biggest surprise to me, and to get paid that much for like 12
Yeah.
seconds. It was just like, I'm done. This is what I'm
This
doing.
is
This
it.
is what I'm doing.
This is
Yeah, this
it.
is it. This is it. And then a couple weeks ago, um, well, not a couple weeks ago, when the Ninja Turtle movie came out, and to find out that we had a placement on there, just like,
Yeah.
it's like really blew my mind. And for my first two placements to be like,
That high up? Come on
I'm
now.
like, look at God.
Yes.
Man, you are something else. You are just doing the thing, just blowing my mind. So I'm looking forward to a lot more opportunities uh, coming my way, our way, because a lot of this stuff that I'm not doing it by myself.
Yeah.
Like I said, my daughter's, she's singing with me. I have another artist, Michael Lunsford. He just helped me with the single that I just dropped. We just dropped, Sunshine Moonlight.
I love it
Um,
so much. I was gonna mention that too. Yes. It's so
Sunshine Moonlight.
smooth. It's like, I was driving, I went to go pick up my son a couple days ago, and sometimes I'll listen to like a podcast or something, but this day I needed some music. And it
Yeah.
said, let me go play this sunshine. I love it so.
Mm-hmm.
Last night. Yeah, yeah,
Moonlight.
yeah, 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 yeah. I love it. I love it so much.
And so, you know what? That is probably my proudest. And I thank God for every opportunity that's coming my way. I'm thanking Him for everything that's still to come. But to be able to reach back and work with some younger people, that are looking to me like, hey, lady producer, or hey, mama,
Yeah.
or hey, auntie, you know what I mean? To reach back and get those people, that are looking for opportunities, that want to do more, and to be able to go back and get them and say, hey, can you do this for me? Can you write this for me? Can you sing for me? It's just, that is the part that means the most to me, is to be able to do it as a unit. It's not always about you sitting down and doing the track and doing the vocals and recording herself and doing all of this. Is to be able to work with others and to come out with something that's mind blowing is the part that gets me. And to see them get excited,
Yeah.
to see my daughter get excited about her first placement. You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah.
And to see Michael excited about releasing a single. You know what I mean? So that's the best part to me, most satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could tell yourself the version of you who was sitting there with your first client trying to navigate things, if you could tell her one thing, what would it be?
I would say you can do this. You can do this. Or you got this.
Mm-hmm.
You got this.
Yeah.
No matter what, because everything is a learning experience. And just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Keep doing, keep doing you. Don't try to be like anybody else. You keep doing you. There's a lot of times where I lost myself looking at others, watching others, and watching how they're doing it, and kind of navigated into some wrong spaces. Now I learned from it, yeah. But absolutely keep doing you.
Yeah. One of the reasons I feel that's so profound is because there's so many times where we doubt ourselves or we get into a space that we so badly wanted to be in and then start to question, like, am I supposed to be here? Like, how did I get here? Did I even be here? You okay?
Yep.
Okay.
I need some
But
water.
no, take your time. There's so many times that voice of doubt comes and there's nobody else in the room to say, hey, keep going, keep going, keep going. So, just something that small, hearing it from you who is on the other side of all those obstacles and experiences that you had, it's important to be able to say that to yourself.
Yes.
In those moments.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I just want to thank you so much for coming on, taking the time to chat with us, give us knowledge. Before we go, though, I want you to tell everybody where they can connect with you and also what ways they can connect with you, because you mentioned that you write, you sing, you produce. So what type of services or just different ways other artists can connect with you after watching this live? And on what platforms too?
Right. I would say IG, definitely. TikTok.
Yeah.
Facebook. YouTube. I'm on all the platforms, pretty much. Cherie Witt, the Lady Producer. If not, Cherie Witt, the Lady Producer, the Lady Producer. So mostly I'm focusing on, because I do work full time still.
Okay.
That's still a thing. You still got to pay bills.
Yeah.
Do what you do and keep a roof over your head and electricity on, because you can't do a track without the electricity. So, but I'm mainly focused on the sync licensing stuff right now. So I'm always looking for talent, singers, rappers, people, collabing with other producers. So definitely, I'm probably on IG the most.
Yeah.
You could always message me if you have any questions. You can message me if you want to collab sometime. Definitely, if like the opportunity comes up. I think Jay Matthews reached out to me the other day. He's part of the fam
team,
that comes into the live, and he raps. So like if I get to a point where I've got to do some more sports stuff, so I'm probably going to reach out to him, and see if he could, because I can't do it all. There's just so many things that you can do, and I can't do it all. I might try to spit a little 8 bars here and there. Yeah. And there's some, and that's very valuable because, to get that one-on-one, sometimes you need somebody to hold your hand because you don't know what you don't know. You don't. starting out, you may not know what you're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
even the words for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying. I'm picking up what
Yes.
you're putting
Yes.
down.
Thank you so much again for taking the time to meet with me, to give your knowledge, and to pour into us. I'm going to save this live on YouTube with the rest of
Okay.
the music industry experts that I've interviewed.
Can you have some chips?
Okay.
And my kids, they want a snack. So, but like I said,
I got one upstairs too.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you understand. They
Yep.
popped in a few times, but they've been pretty good. And this is how we do it, right? With the children and all. Like, you know,
Yes.
you can, even regardless of what your situation is, there's still a way.
Yep.
So thank you again for pouring into us.
Oh, you are so welcome.
sharing.
Thank you
And
for
I'm
inviting me.
looking forward to connecting more with you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
We're going to do some stuff.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay? Let's get it popping. Okay?
Yes.
Female empowerment.
Right
Let's
here.
do some stuff.
Yes. We need that.
Yeah.
We need that. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day. And
You too.
like I said, you all will see you in the next one. Thank
Okay,
you.
babe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.